Alright everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Kaminski. I'm a UK guitarist making instrumental music with guitars, obviously. And today I'm going to do episode 1 of a Q&A series I'm starting. So the other day on my Instagram, I put up a story where all of you could ask me questions, and in this video and the following ones, I'm going to try my best to answer them. And they might be tech questions, they might be guitar related, or just general lifestyle, but without further ado, let's get into it. So Fran Fern Guitar asks, how you build your progressions, your mental process? Okay, so Fran, that's a really good question. A lot of people struggle with chord progressions, myself included. The thing you're going to want to do that helped me a lot was actually put your guitar in any drop tuning. So drop D, drop A flat on a 7-string. So what matters is it actually allows you to play major, minor, and different shapes of chords fair bit easier up and down the neck, not just the usual dad chords down here. So really quickly, say if we were on the 5th fret, want to play a minor chord, so you take your regular, you know, the one finger, and then you just add in, that's your minor third. You could also do a major, and then you could also do a 9 like this. And then the way you build progressions is like play around with those shapes and just listen to your ear. So just messing like that. You could pick a different key, like that sort of thing. So have a go with like a drop D tuning and just those 3 finger shapes. See how you get on. There's tons of fun to be had in that. Okay, so David Mira asks, how do you dial your Petrucci covers? They are so accurate, although different pups, which he means pickups. Well, first off, thank you very much. I do spend a lot of time trying to nail the Petrucci sort of isms and articulations that he does a lot of. More often than not, I'm rolling with something like this for any Dream Theater cover. So I'm going to use Archetype Nolly, but you could build this on, obviously, Archetype Petrucci. Alright, so I've got a really basic preset for this solo stuff that I do all the time. I always use a 3rd cab on Archetype Nolly, and I'm using this overdrive here in front of the amp. I'd always recommend you do this, bud. And then for the amp, I'm actually using the 4th amp. It's super juicy, full and fat sounding. You can use the 5150, but I like using this Victory amp sim instead for the Petrucci style fat kind of tone that he goes for. Push in the mids, because Petrucci does this a lot when he does his solo tone. If it was a rhythm, you'd probably turn this off or drop these back and boost the bass a bit. And then the cab is probably just, what if I use a 57 and a 160, which is just a classic, basically, a combo. And then for the delay and reverb, all of the solos, he doesn't usually use reverb, but I like it. So if you don't like it, then don't use it, but I like it. So I have it just quite low, just to help round off the ends of the notes a little bit. It's not really in the mix, but it's just to make me feel a little bit more comfortable. You know, it's not so weird, I guess. Like when you play guitar with like 0 delay or reverb, it's quite a close sound. So yeah, you can recreate this on any Archetype plugin or any Neural plugin, for example, or any amp sim. So I'll just give you a quick example of that tone. Just swap guitars to one in E standard, but yeah. So there you go, like that's the kind of tone that I go for. Just keep in mind that you want to be swapping pickups when you go super high for like the shred runs, so like that sort of thing, and then you want to be on bridge for like the that sort of thing. So really use your pickup selector, because at the end of the day, a humbucker is always going to have like a humbucker characteristic, which is what Petrucci uses. So he always uses bridge for like the lower runs, and the higher up the neck he goes, he swaps to neck. So just listen out to the records, because you can kind of hear when he's on that like buttery shred sound, which is that sound, as opposed to, you see what I'm saying there? So there is a difference, so just keep in mind. I get a lot of comments saying that I do this sort of stuff in my videos, but so does Petrucci, and that's how he gets that kind of sound that he goes for. So yeah, good luck, dude. Cool, so I'll just swap back to this other guitar. Next question. I'm Confused asks, best way to get sponsors / make money on social media? The best way is to probably do YouTube. Instagram certainly doesn't really pay themselves. You might be able to do some sponsored content with third-party companies. But I certainly make like nothing off Instagram directly, and I make nothing off TikTok, and I don't make anything off YouTube either. So probably not the best advice. I have got no idea how to really make money off those sorts of platforms, but YouTube, you could make money by doing AdSense, but you have to get a certain number of subscribers and watch hours before you're eligible to start making money on YouTube, which is kind of like how bigger YouTubers make a stable income from YouTube videos. But other than that, there's not really a clear way to make money on social media. Dinferno asks, how do you create that drum tone in your videos? I need to learn that. Well, to be honest, dude, I'm not really doing anything groundbreaking. It's kind of based off like Nolly's school of thought on his approach to drums, and a lot of other metal producers and mixing engineers' approach as well. It's just that everything is like there or thereabouts compressed, and more it's like the transients. Being careful with your transients. It's very easy to have like a super spike on your snare drum, but it's actually all about rounding it off and having more of a beef and a fatness to it. And I would very much recommend watching some of Nolly's mixing tutorials to see how he does it. He's got a great one that he did, It's Only Smiles, and that is a perfect tune to learn. And just watch what he does with the different shells and the different pieces of the kit, and how he all brings it together at the end. And you'll really learn a thing or two if you just pay attention and, note down the settings and everything that he's doing and the principles as well. So good luck, dude. Okay, next question. Ethan Duds Guitar asks, recommend some songs to learn to transition into djent modern metalcore. I would very much recommend listening to Periphery. I'm not a super professional modern metalcore player or even djent, but Periphery are kind of like the modern kings of djent in my opinion, so I would learn anything off Periphery 5. I love Have a Blast off Periphery 2. That's in drop C. It's a good one to learn. The first drift's really tricky, but like as you get further through the song, it's a bit easier. And some classic like djent isms in there with like a few more popular chord shapes that you'll be able to get under your fingers. So I'd start there. All right, Martin Gonzalez Music asks, what is it like being a prog musician in the UK? What kind of opportunities do you see? Well, that's a great question. I grew up not really knowing anyone that was into my style of music. And when I say style, I just mean like instrumental, prog, dream theater. I didn't really know that many people. So I've just learned to do everything quite independently. So I guess I kind of created my own opportunities by doing it all from home. So I would say there's not a massive scene for prog or anything like this in the UK. There's a couple bands, like you look at Tesseract and you look at Monument, but other than that, there's, I guess, Sleep Token as well these days, but other than those guys, there's not really that many players. Like, you've got the fusion dudes. There's a big fusion scene. Like, you've got the Guthrie, Jack Gardner, Tom Quayle, all those English dudes. So yeah, other than that, I guess the general rule of thumb is like, no matter where you are in the world, try and make your own opportunities. So work with what you've got. Like, if you don't know that many people, don't let that stop you. Like, I never made a band because I didn't know that many people. So I just kind of made the band in Logic Pro and programmed everything myself, and I'm still doing that today. So yeah. All right, next question. Subi_ asks, your best pickups for rhythm versus lead tones. I don't really have like a preferred pickup for rhythm or lead, but I certainly have preferred pickups for humbucker sounds and split coil sounds. I'm a big fan of Juggernauts and Rags for their split coil tones, and I'm very much a favorite of these pickups for either bridge or neck. They're both killer, but especially bridge. This is kind of like the main guitar for tracking rhythms when they're on the bridge pickup. If there's split coil stuff, I'll be grabbing another guitar usually, but as far as these pickups go, they're just the best, and these are bare knuckle polymats. Okay, KPL asks, one guitar only for a live gig, which one is it? Probably this one. To be honest, it's 6 string, tuned to drop D flat at the moment, and it's just got my favorite pickups in at the moment, and has a trem and it's a neck through as well, so it's kind of an all-round beast and I love playing it. I don't know if you can see this, but the fretboard on this thing is absolutely glossed over with how much I've played it, and I will continue to play it as well, and it's just my favorite guitar ever to be honest. Okay, Nuno Nascimento 23 asks, tips for shooting cool videos on a budget. Okay, I would recommend you pick up like a softbox on Amazon for like 50 quid or something, just get one. And I would get like a capo or a very cheap phone stand, and I would shoot videos on your phone. And if you can't even afford the softbox, just use daylight, because daylight is always king for lighting, and just sit like in front of a window or something and like have your phone sat on the windowsill facing you, and it'll look great. And if you're struggling for like a guitar tone, get like a free trial of the neural plugins and kind of like try them all out and maybe grab one. In the grand scheme of things, like an archetype plugin, which is like an entire collection of guitar tones, is a lot cheaper than if you were to build the real thing. You're probably looking at 5 or 6 grand to build like archetype Nolly or something, but the plugin is a lot cheaper and it's like world-class guitar tones. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. All right, so next question. Aush Pradhan asks, can you do a mixing video? Yeah, I've already done one. I did one like a couple videos back. I'll link it here if you've not seen it already, but I go through a whole mix, including drums, using the Benny Greb kit from GGD, so check that out. Okay, guitarist named Ken asks, your favorite studio monitors and why? How does it compare to the competition? My favorite studio monitors are the only ones I've ever owned, which are the JBL 305P Mark IIs. They are linked down below if you want to check them out. Really, really budget friendly, basically as cheap as you can go. And it's probably something I'll upgrade in the future, but for now, it's just what I'm using. And I actually really like the sound of them. I actually think more often than not, what needs the work, the time and the budget is probably room treatment. So I think I've invested a bit more money in that first. And it's probably something I'll upgrade later when it comes to the speakers. But for now, super happy with those. All right, Andrew Brzezinski asks, new strandberg player here. Hey, curious to know what your initial draw was to the company. My initial draw was actually watching one of Pliny's very old YouTube videos. It was for his Koki song release, and it was the first time I'd really fallen in love with like the aesthetic of Strandberg. I'd seen them a couple times before on their website, but the Koa top on that very old USA model that Pliny had just looked mint, and I kind of fell in love from there. And yeah, that was around 2015, and I ended up buying I bought this one. So I bought this one in like the end of 2015 and loved it, and I still love it to this day. I recently recorded a whole masterclass with this guitar, and it's an absolute beast. The tone out of this thing is just, it's quite an aggressive sounding instrument, especially with these bare knuckle Blackhawks in it. But yeah, absolutely love it, and ever since then, clearly, I'm still in love with Strandbergs. Okay, Azixin.ai, sorry if I said your name wrong, asks, how low is your guitar action? Well, I'll just chuck in some B-roll of this guitar and the string height on this particular model. But for the rest of them, it kind of just depends how each individual guitar feels. General rule of thumb for me, I keep it as low as I can without any major fret buzz. That's sorted. All right, thank you so much everyone for the questions. I had a blast answering them. If I didn't get around to yours, I'm sorry. I'm going to try and do a few more episodes of these Q&A style videos. So if you've enjoyed it, let me know below by leaving a comment and give this video a like as well. And if you want to see more videos from me, make sure you subscribe. Got a few more coming your way. See you in a bit.